You are now about to witness the strength of street knowledge.
Welcome to the School of Fantasy Football podcast. I'm going to be your guidance counselor, Alex, and to my right here, well, no one can see.
Right? You like to visually.
I'm trying to set up to give them an idea.
I'm right across from you.
I'm trying to give them an idea of what's going on here and how the room's set up. But yeah, it's my good buddy Matt. I'm calling him the professor just because he's a pretty smart dude. He already claimed himself to be the greatest mathematician that's ever lived. Ever lived. If you listen to last week's episode, and then Dr. Mario. But I'm gonna your initials are MR, so I'll just call you like Dr. Mister. I like it. It's very Mr.
Dr. Mister, not Mr. Doctor.
You could be Mr. Doctor too.
Yeah, like that.
Mr. Doctor's better.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I just want to get right into it. Just a couple hours ago, the Zeke headline came out for everybody that was on pins and needles about whether he's going to play or not. He is going to be playing. It doesn't really say for exactly how long.
14 days.
It's 14 days?
He has a 14-day stay on the decision.
Okay.
Whatever that means. So, like, nothing else will be decided for 14 days till at least 14 days from now.
Okay, so he can play the next 2 weeks?
That's what I read. That he'll be playing the next two games, and then he could be playing more.
But then they said this is kind of a win for him. I mean, obviously it's a win because he got the stay or whatever it's called. But this is the same court system that tore up Tom Brady.
Right.
And so if they tore up Tom Brady and they didn't do anything to Zeke, so obviously that's a good. That looks good on him.
But see, I
think he already looks bad.
I don't know if I read wrong.
Anyway.
And again, it just happened a couple hours ago, and I didn't really read into it too much. I just saw that he's going to play for 2 weeks. I read that the reason is because the judge that was supposed to decide is on vacation for.
Oh yeah, they're in Louisiana
for 10 days or something. And
is that the reason? Oh, I thought that's why they went to New York. Right? It's because that judge was supposed to decide
and he's not around to decide.
So then that's why they went up to New York.
I don't know. He's playing for. It sounds like he'll be there for at least 2 weeks, and then 2 weeks, maybe more.
And then so drop Alfred Morris and Darren McFadden. No, you got to keep him, right? You just keep him handy. I mean, it just depends.
I think it depends on how your waiver wire works. Like if you can just drop him and pick him up, whenever you think the people in your league would pick him up a day or two before, if you need because right now a lot of people really need roster spots right now with injuries, like with Aaron Rodgers' injury, then the other bigger injuries that for guys that are going to be out for multiple weeks, but they're still guys that it's hard to drop until you know for sure they're going to be out.
Like the Andrew Luck.
Well, even David Johnson, he still could come back week 12. They say it's like, well, if you're in the playoffs and you get David Johnson, that's amazing.
But I mean, I was going to say that even if it's for David Johnson that he does come back, that he can just maybe come back earlier, but he can wear like the JPP little stumpy arm thing. Yeah. But I mean, he's a big pass catcher.
He does get hit too. He gets hit, and the other pass catching would hurt.
So that's gonna.
And what do you think? They have freaking AP, man.
Yeah, so now there's no rush.
They're just gonna cut.
And he looked like a stud. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But I wanted to hit on something. Mario, Mr. Doctor over here, said if you want to win a league or win a tournament that you're playing, you need to play AP. And what happened? How many points did he score?
Yeah, 24, 25 fantasy points.
Yeah. That's 2 touchdowns, 130 yards.
Yeah.
I mean, that is amazing.
Yeah.
He did more yards in one half.
Well, he looked fresh too.
28.4 DraftKings point.
Well, and it's different when you're going up. You have an offensive line that's built to be a running offensive team.
Yeah,
that's what they're supposed to do. What Saints are not built to be a run heavy team. Ingram gets his carries and Ingram looked good too this week actually getting knowing that he's going to get all of those those carries, the running back carries.
Do you think that'll continue?
Ingram's in good shape. I'm not for a season long. I'm not sold on AP being a
stud every week.
No, I'm not.
Especially because David Johnson comes back.
Oh yeah,
you play David Johnson.
Then Adrian Peterson will not get touches. They're not going to be like, oh, you've been playing well.
You've done pretty well. Let's split time now. But what about Alvin Kamara? Someone like that.
I like him too.
Do you think his stock Oh, obviously it rises a little bit. 'cause
It goes
AP's
up a
gone.
little. I think his was like the safest spot throughout because of being the pass catching back. Even when AP was there, and AP and I felt it was more AP and Ingram were kind of. Well, AP got to where he wasn't playing at all, but he would take 6 or 7 carries away from Mark Ingram. But that Kamara still got his touches and
I
his
think
snaps.
no matter what, he's still going to get
Yeah,
his.
he's a pretty talented kid. I like watching him play.
I feel like they should lean on him a little bit more.
I think he'll be more of the pass catching back. He'll be more of like the Reggie Bush role, I guess you want to call it that.
Yeah.
Back in the day for Saints, so he's going to get his touches. And they're going to have plays, drawn up specifically for him. So I think either one is viable pretty much every week because now they're down to just 2 running backs, and both of them are good. So they're going to be getting a bunch of touches. I'm not sure what the snap percentage was last week, but I'm pretty sure they played almost close to 100%, just the 2 of them. So I think either one's worth it. We're starting almost every week, depending on matchup, of course. But
Do you start either one of them against Packers this week?
yeah, I think
Yeah, right?
I think the Packers were struggling against the run.
And that we're talking about
The Saints,
Ingram still.
Ingram and Kamara.
Yeah, they're 18 against the run, so they're not like terrific. They're not terrible, but I mean, I would play both. Probably Ingram above Kamara for me, just because without Aaron Rodgers, they're probably going to win the game.
What about in a PPR and you only could play one?
In a PPR, you can only play one. I still take Ingram because
I think so too. Yeah, I agree.
He still gets catches, not as many as Kamara, but he still gets them. I would take Ingram over Kamara, but I think there are going to be some weeks when maybe the Saints are playing at home against a good team where they're behind, and I would rather play Kamara because he's going to play and get more playing time in that case.
Those little wheel routes
are
amazing.
Right, but I think this week a pretty good week for Ingram against the Packers.
So that's a nice segue into the Packers. They earlier I was telling Matt how no one can beat these guys, right? Like that's kind of what we talked about. Like no one can beat them. There's no one that can stop Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
And then we texted, and I said the only thing that can beat him, unfortunately, is injuries. And that's unfortunate.
It's your fault.
And it was my fault because I saw Aaron Rodgers strolling into the Minnesota Dome, whatever it's called, wearing like a cool leather jacket and wearing some like awesome like matte black headphones on, wireless phone, and then he did like the Hang 10 gang sign with his hands, and he was like smiling, looking super cool and like confident and everything. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna fucking go for that guy. I'm gonna root for him. And you're welcome, Packers fans. I started going. I've hated Aaron Rodgers every single day since he started.
This is a little unrelated to football, but you're pretty much like the Sports Illustrated or the Madden coverings because he also played Gordon Hayward.
Oh yeah,
Unfortunately,
Opening night tonight.
oh yeah, I did. I played Gordon Hayward.
Gordon Hayward got
Your
hurt.
first lineup ever in NBA, and
Ever.
one of your main players gets hurt in 4
He
seconds.
played Rodgers. I feel bad whoever played this week.
Yeah. So if you want to do better, just ask me for my lineups. I'll send you snapshots of my
against it.
lineups and then go against it and see maybe you can beat me. just go against me.
So weird thing about so Aaron Rodgers is going to be out. They, probably for the season. I did hear from a couple people that, not like from them directly, but I heard them say that he could come back right around playoff time. I just feel like that's going to be
there.
they're going to have to get there,
there.
and they're going to have to, and he'd have to also be. That would be like right when he's able to play again. It's not like he's going to already have like 3 weeks of practice or anything. The weird thing about it though, and we don't have this game on our pick'em for the week. Oh, we do. Yeah,
Which
we
one?
had the Green Bay game.
Oh yeah, we switched it.
It's weird. They have, and we're going to talk about it later, but we're already talking about Green Bay now. They still have, like Vegas still has Green Bay like as a 4-point favorite over New Orleans.
Yeah, I read that because they said Hundley was not those interceptions that he threw. They
He's
weren't
not that
completely
bad.
his fault.
I just feel it's weird.
And
I think
I saw too.
We'll get into that. We'll save that for the pick'em since we added that game to our pick'em.
Yeah, it's on Thursday.
That was just kind of surprising for me. It's
So who do we pick up now? Now that Rodgers is out, who are we? And now that a lot of the quarterbacks are kind of like how we talked about last week, you kind of
the one guy I would take
for
if I could have
year.
a quarterback for the year. Again, this is a replacement for Aaron Rodgers. in a 10-team league or a 12-team league would be Tyrod Taylor. I think he's one of the few that's on there that you could probably
But who's
play.
he throwing to? Just
Hopefully Matthews gets healthy, but
Jordan Matthews is supposed to come
even
back.
so, I think he's
Charles
gonna,
Clay's supposed to come back in a couple weeks.
he
Yeah.
Sean McCoy is good.
out of the. I mean, I just feel like, and he has pretty good matchups. From this point forward, he's one of the few guys that's probably on the waiver wire that you can pick up for the. But other than that, man, it's
a
tough.
little fun fact: he's owned by 38%
Tyrod.
in Yahoo leagues. 38, and he's playing Tampa Bay next week too. So I mean, that would be a nice little.
I mean, if you're desperate, I wouldn't mind taking a flyer, depending on your roster construction, of course, taking a flyer on Minnesota quarterback that's coming back, Teddy Bridgewater.
Teddy Bridgewater. I had him written down.
Isn't that he's something?
Teddy B is supposed to be coming back, I think, in like 3 weeks.
Yeah,
They just activated
like
him this week. so
he's going to
practice
practice this week.
He's
Right.
practicing this week. So 3 weeks. So if that's right, I made a note that I erased it because I was going to talk about him later. But if you have a spot for him, like you're saving an Andrew Luck, because we still don't know what the hell's going on with him. There was even talks like that won't even come back this season. They're just
Bridgewater.
no,
Oh, Andrew Luck.
Andrew Luck.
Yeah.
That they're just kind of stringing everybody along so that people can still go to their games.
Right.
And
Who would you? So if you could
if I was going to
have one or the other, which one would you have on your roster?
I would honestly, I would pick Teddy Bridgewater just because he looks like he has a line, and he has a running back, like healthy running backs that are not aging like Frank Gore is. Marlon Mack, I mean, he's pretty.
Marlon Mack was awful.
Yeah, and he's
He just looked.
He's pretty
awful.
bad.
He just looked awful.
yeah, he like, I mean, that's not good.
And Ty is good, and Moncrief's pretty good, but Diggs and Thielen.
yeah.
are just way
yeah, you
better.
got
Kyle
Diggs and
Rudolph.
Dylan, and then you Kyle Rudolph, and then you have McKinnon there, and then they have a solid line.
Yeah.
And then their defense is stout, so they're going to end up taking this division. So he's, if you can go and pick up Teddy Bridgewater, I mean, that's what I was going to do. I was actually going to drop Andrew Luck and pick up Teddy Bridgewater
I mean, and I think that would be the type of team that would,
because I'm already
be able-
holding that spot. Already,
Yeah, exactly.
and I know
that's the type of team that would be able to do that, or a team that has a solid number one quarterback, and it's almost like a prevention from the rest of the league getting, one of those teams that's missing an Aaron Rodgers now, and then you're keeping that team from. I actually picked up in our main league, I picked up Roethlisberger, and I'm carrying 3 quarterbacks right now, just because
which is very rare. You usually only carry.
he only
one.
has one, but really just because I felt like Roethlisberger was too good of a quarterback to just sit there, especially when a team like that just lost Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I don't think I would have traded for him, which I was offered a trade. I wouldn't trade
For
a player.
Ross?
But if he was on the line,
Well, exactly. I don't want. I'm actually going to play him this week, though.
Are you?
Yeah. So it was because I have Watson's my starter now because he's decided to be the best quarterback in the NFL.
Right.
Yeah, by far.
And then I have Derek Carr going this week, which is I think he's in a pretty decent matchup, but Pittsburgh's playing at home against Cincinnati.
He's playing against Kansas City. Derek
Oh,
Carr
that's
is
right. Yeah, and
on Thursday night.
so I wasn't a big fan of Thursday night games for one, or
Yeah.
going up against Kansas City.
Especially after coming off an injury.
Yeah, and so
Yeah, he doesn't look like. I mean, he was kind of a scrambling quarterback. I mean, not as much as like
Yeah,
Mariota
yeah.
And everything, but I mean, he still ran, make plays. But now they're telling him like not to run. Same thing with Mariota. Like these guys are like 2 peas in a pod. These like if you talk about
Yeah.
one, it's kind of like you talk about the same.
But yeah, so I'm kind of going boomer bust because I'm going to start Roethlisberger and I have Antonio Brown. So it's like
You know what?
that goes off. I'm in good shape.
The last 3. I mean, I guess we'll get into it during the pick'ems. But the last 3 games, Ben's gone off.
He's gone a lot, yeah.
And
Antonio
against
Brown.
Cincinnati,
Oh, gotcha.
specifically, the last 3 games, and including the playoffs. So I mean, things are looking up for him. Other quarterbacks to take, which I was thinking would be good, instead of like for the guys that had Rodgers. I was thinking Jared Goff. These are just streaming. Unless you want to keep him for longer, I was looking more just for week 7. But Jared Goff, he's owned 39% in the league in Yahoo leagues. He has a pretty friendly matchup going up against Arizona Cardinals.
Especially if Peterson's out.
Yeah, and Peterson's out, so he's going to be balling too. And Cooper Kupp, that's my little sleeper also. Anytime he plays a league, a defense that's like top 10 worst in the league passing defenses, he has at least 15, 17 points each game. anyone greater than 12 or 13, he's poop. Gets like at least 6 points, and this is in the PPR league, full point PPR. So that's my little sleeper right there, Cooper Cup. And then, like I said, Tyrod Taylor, of course.
Yeah, I think.
That's huge.
I like
And if you want, I mean, if you're hurting for a squirting, I said that again. It's my third time. Blake Bortles. I mean, he has a pretty good ceiling. I mean, for this game,
he has a really really low floor as well, but he does.
But,
Have a
I mean, if you
so.
really want to take a rest, he's like $4,700 in DraftKings, $4,500, and you can spend that on whatever, on Leonard Fournette and Le'Veon or Zeke now. But yeah, Bortles is playing against Indiana. You know, if Marcus Mariota was able to throw against him hardcore, just staying in the pocket, which he's not really used to, I think Blake Bortles can do that, especially with Leonard Fournette, Leon Fournette. You know, since he's
Look at old Leo.
He's a little banged up too.
He's a little banged up. Yep. So Bortles against Indiana, and then this is my favorite one, going against my Cowboys of Dallas. Is his name Beathard?
Beat hard.
Beat hard, yeah.
No,
Yeah, you
I
gotta beat
don't
him.
know how to pronounce his name, but
Bethard.
that's what it looks like.
I like Beat Hard.
Yeah, well, I'm
Yeah,
gonna go with the Beat hard guy.
I like those names better. I like to pronounce them.
But he earned the starting spot for San Francisco since Brian Hoyer, the comeback kid, wasn't able to get it done for the 4 straight weeks.
Shocker.
Yeah, so I mean, he's going against Dallas. He's a friendly matchup, unfortunately. But you know the thing I didn't think about that is that I believe Sean Lee's coming back in.
Yeah.
So that kind of puts a little damper on things for him. But I mean, if you're
I still think Pierre Garçon can exploit the Cowboys corners. He's pretty good.
oh yes, and I have him down here too. We'll get to him also. Yeah, that was my thing. All my picks, my picks specifically for guys you want to stream for a quarterback since Aaron Rodgers is out. Which, if you have Aaron Rodgers, you're not going to have 2 or 3 quarterbacks on your bench. You know
No,
what I mean?
I wouldn't. I would have one.
Yeah, and it would just be him,
Right.
right?
Exactly. No,
So-
teams that have Aaron Rodgers most likely didn't have a backup ready to go.
Exactly.
Unless
So
unless they were in a league with where guys, you could tell guys were just trying to do the wait till round 10, and there was like half the league did that. So then you're like, well, screw that. I'm not going to let these guys
yeah,
get
like you would be able to pick up a Ben Roethlisberger,
Exactly,
right?
yeah.
round 9 or 8 or
Somewhere
10 or
later.
something like that. But yeah, so who are we?
All right, before we get to the waiver streams next, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah, your thoughts.
this was my little
Professor.
thought. So think about if this was your draft, right? So let's say you took Odell Beckham in the first round, right? That's a first round pick. In the second round, you took Amari Cooper. Okay. In the third round, you took Dalvin Cook. In the fourth round, you took Aaron Rodgers. In the fifth round, you took Keenan Allen. Allen Robinson. In the sixth round, you took Greg Olsen. So that's like a legitimate.
I want to see somebody's
I bet somebody
lineup
has
that has that.
Oh, I'm sure somebody does. Yeah.
There's got to with as many, and those are because I kind of was looking and seeing like this
Like-
guy was probably a first.
Like, do you feel bad for that guy?
At this point, it's like if
It's
that guy can
laughable.
find a way to make the playoffs, he should get like half the pot.
Oh, easily.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. If no,
your
even
best
if
player
even
is
if
still
you have
healthy is Amari
even
Cooper.
if you have a starting, a 50-50, like
you go 500.
Yeah, even
Yeah.
if that, you at leist get your money back.
And then Tyler Eifert was another one. Those are all guys that are on either IR or not going to be back before week 12.
Jeez, that's crazy.
It's like it really is like a full team.
That's a starting lineup.
It's kind of crazy that receivers are actually
Oh, and then
the least
maybe
injured.
if you drafted Janikowski towards the end,
You're right. Yep.
round 11 or 12,
or young Huku.
Or young-
Or
like-
they're dumb enough to draft Sue Yu Kung.
Yeah, it's me.
the cream of some young guy. Maybe don't have to draft him.
But it's really weird that the healthiest position, it seems like for the top players, has been wide receiver. Like other than Beckham, who's out,
Yeah,
there hasn't really been a lot of wide receivers.
Emmanuel Sanders, unfortunately,
Have they said how long he's going to be out?
no, but
That's another update.
that's another update we got to get to. But I have other goodies.
Go ahead, man.
Mara, do you have any thoughts on this?
I was going to
last
say,
week?
if you're going to, I was going back to the streaming quarterbacks. Interesting one for this week would be Jay Cutler against the Jets. Jets corners are kind of bad, and Jay Cutler, I mean, he's pretty crappy, but
Jay Cutler. Okay.
Yeah, he's pretty crappy, but Jarvis Landry and
Yeah, they went off.
yeah, I mean they can score points, you know. So I don't know. I mean, if you're desperate, it's just kind of one of those things where like if you lost Aaron Rodgers and you're trying to find a replacement, I think Jay Cutler against the Jets this week is not a terrible filler. Just depending on what's available in your league.
You have 5 guys to choose from.
Right.
It's Goff, Tyrod, Bortles, Beat Hard, Beat It Hard, and Cutler.
Yeah.
And then Tyrod, you need to stash him. I'm telling you, man, stash that dude.
Of that group, he's the only one that is like, or maybe Goff are the year-long plays.
Goff,
Those other ones are ones that might have, you know, kind of really big games this week, but it's just something you're just using to stream to get, you know, week to week. If I mean, and you can do that with Tyrod, I guess. You could pick him up this week to play him, but I feel like he's a guy that's going to be a little bit more consistent when scoring. I don't think he's going to have these big 35-point, you know, outputs, but he's going to get you 18, 20 points every single week, where you're not going to lose because of your quarterback position.
Right. That's what we need right now. Just you
A lot
don't
of people
want to
do.
You don't want to lose
lot of people
because
do.
of your QB. All right, waivers and streams. I like this one. We didn't dive too deep into these in the last week or two, mainly just because we were focusing more on the DraftKings stuff, but that's going to be coming at a later date. So we're just kind of changing it up a little bit. So we're going to go more in depth onto these waiver pickups and streaming players like QBs and defenses. Whenever I did these waivers, I don't know if you guys agree with me or not, but I wanted to keep them low, nothing like a 50%. Like I had Nelson Aguilar on here, but he's like 56%, 57%. I'm like, that's too high. Like I need guys like in the 25s and the 20s
that people can readily just pick up.
they will be available.
Right.
You know, nothing like, oh, this guy already has them. Don't be stupid, Alex. Like don't be dumb. Anyway, so Gallman is probably the highest one on here that I have. Wayne Gallman, the running back for the Giants. He's been looking pretty solid. I mean,
but the Darkwood guy got all the carries last week.
He did.
Darkwood looked good this week.
But I don't know. But he didn't do anything this entire year until just this game.
Yeah, but he got 67% of the carries, so that kind of worries me a bit. But yeah, but the thing is if they're going with the hot hand, then Gallman's not a bad pickup because.
So who do you think is a better?
I mean, that's what I'm saying. I think either one. I think it's a kind of like a slash. Like you can look at it, and if before the game they tell you who's starting, because this week, right before the game, they're like, "Oh, we're going to start Orleans Darkwa," and it's like, "Oh crap! Well, if I would have known that, I would have played him, right?"
Oh, right.
Yeah. So I mean, I think you got to just kind of stay on top of that situation just to figure out
if you're hurting for a running back, then yeah, definitely stay on top. of that.
Also, the funny thing with Orleans Darkwa, we talked about profile picks the other day on DraftKings. You know, anyway. This is Orleans Darkwa is a black guy, and his DraftKings picture was of a white dude.
I saw that.
Yeah, they had his
I was like,
a white dude.
whoa, I've never seen. I was like, I could have sworn last year I saw him. He was like,
I just thought that was a funny mistake.
He was a very black guy.
Yeah,
I saw him last season. You know, because he started popping up all over the place because he did a couple things in a couple games. But yeah, I thought that was weird, but I just like went past it.
Yeah, but anyway, that was just my little drop in. Funny. But yeah, I think you can go either way, Gallman or Darkwa, whoever's going to start. If you can get a good feel for that, that's who I'll go with.
Okay. And then a replacement for Emmanuel Sanders. For me, I'm actually going to start on my DraftKings just because I put my money elsewhere. And Benny Fowler. The wide receiver.
He's gonna get targets.
Yeah, and I think he had like 8 targets this last game. Not more than what's his name, Demaryius Thomas, but
Demaryius Thomas really likes to fumble.
Yeah, I don't understand what's wrong.
Or drop the ball. It's very frustrating to watch him. I mean, granted, it was going against Jenkins, but still,
yeah.
But he still did the best out of any receiver.
He got crushed, right? Yeah.
He did the best in this receiver against Jenkins. So
I'm not a
but I wouldn't
fan.
Right. But yeah,
you know who's available in our league?
Fowler's only
running back
2% owned. Who?
Gillisley.
Oh yeah. The guy just dropped him.
I mean, I get it. You know, it's like you never know. He's 92% owned in Yahoo leagues, and he's a free agent.
I mean, he's in the playoff. If you were to start the playoffs today, he's in it, right?
Our
guy. Anyway, so
I think Thomas Rawls is another one.
You think so?
Yeah, I feel like at some point it's going to get back to where he's our guy.
The main guy?
He's going to be the guy.
Do you think so, Mr. Doctor?
I don't know. I can't tell. I mean, they have.
I don't like any of their back.
I like Rawls. Rawls was pretty good for a while.
I think he's the most talented of them. I mean, I think Carson was Carson was the most talented, but obviously that's not going to be the case. I think Rawls is the most talented runner, but that doesn't mean that's what Carroll's going to actually
they're
use.
playing Fat Eddie Lacy, so I don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah,
it's the best. Eddie Lacy
That's
gets playing
ridiculous.
time.
I like Gabriel for Atlanta,
Yeah, it's good.
wide receiver.
Yeah, I like that.
I think Mohamed Sanu is going to be out again,
Yeah.
and he's going to get some playing time.
You know who gets
I played
a
him
lot
last
of the play this week is going to be if Sanu's out is actually going to be Hoopa.
Oh, Hooper, Austin Hooper, the tight end for Atlanta. Yeah, that's another good one. He's still
He's
on.
a tight end.
Yeah,
but
he's still out there too. I think he's actually trending right now.
Martavius Bryant is a free agent. He's 90% owned.
Wow.
He might get traded. That'd be awesome.
The guy just came out. The coach just came out and said
Tomlin.
Yeah, he just said that. That's
I
all.
hate Mike Tomlin.
That's all
Me too.
baloney.
I hate Mike Tomlin.
It's all baloney. He said,
Yeah.
and then he's gonna trip you.
Ooh, what about y'all's
You're welcome
favorite, Terrence Williams?
Oh my god. I was just talking. Remember, I talked how bad it was about how he always seems to drop a pass at Cowboys a game, and then the very next game, he freaking coughed up that pick six. I'm just like, come on, man.
Yeah, that was his fault. I'm
completely his
I'm not gonna blame Dak for that.
No, like I said,
I'm not gonna
Bryce
blame Dak for
Butler.
anything.
They need to play Bryce Butler.
We also
DJ Deffelbag.
they need to play Bryce Butler. You're right.
Yeah.
He wasn't. That was a perfect spot too. Like Terrence Williams should have had a huge game.
Yeah.
His matchup. That was actually he was my pick to have a really good game in their last game.
Yeah.
It wasn't in this past week, but the week before, and he dropped like
He's
2
fucking terrible.
Another one that I think is helpful, and we said how earlier when we were talking that Carson Palmer had a really good game, and I don't think it was just a coincidence that John Brown was back and Carson Palmer had a good game. I mean, I think John Brown is
John, not Jaron.
exactly
Okay.
John Brown's a legit receiver.
Yeah, he's available.
and he's under 50% owned in leagues.
Is he really? I mean, he's their most talented.
He is. I mean,
Fitz, of course, but
Yeah, I would go with him. He's a good guy too. You said less than 50%?
yeah, he was 44% in Yahoo leagues.
That's a little too high for this one. I'm just kidding. Yeah, that's a good. That's a good one. I'm gonna do another one. I did a little research. I like to do a little research every once in a while, weekly. Cole Beasley, 22% owned in Yahoo leagues, and this is not just because I'm a Cowboys fan. This is statistically, San Francisco is poor against slot receivers, and if you look at all 6 games that the 49ers have played, those receivers have at least 12 to 14 points
that's
in a full point PPR.
that's a good spot. Yeah, they're 27th in the league in slot. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a good spot. I like, and he just scored 2 touchdowns right last game.
that is correct.
Yeah, I like that,
I really want to pick up John Brown.
especially because it's like they're not going to throw to freaking Terrence Williams.
No, he's not going to throw to him. He's going to try to go to Dez, of course.
Bad.
But yeah, I like Beasley.
Yeah, I like to be. That's a good spot.
Robert Woods, 8% owned. I mean, I don't know if you're
I think I would be higher on Robert Woods for like a streaming option for this week if Patrick Peterson's healthy and playing. Because if he's healthy and playing, Sammy Watkins is gone. He's in witness protection. He's not going to get any passes. So then Robert Woods becomes very viable.
Fun fact: he leads the team in reception yards. Robert Woods
He's the
does.
deep threat.
And second in place?
Cooper Kupp.
Nope.
Damn it!
Todd Gurley.
Todd Gurley.
No, that's awesome.
Yeah, but I do like that. But again, for me, it's if
So Robert Woods, look at if the defense is going to be healthy
if
or not.
Peterson is playing, then I would play Woods. If Peterson,
Oh, because he's going to be sticking. Okay, like you said,
right, because
sticking to Sammy Watkins.
otherwise Sammy Watkins without Peterson on the field, Watkins can get targets and take him away from Woods.
So I'm playing Cooper Kupp for sure.
Yeah, the Cardinals aren't very good against the slot.
Yeah,
Cooper Kupp.
I actually have him in my DraftKings. I'm
Man, I really want to get John Brown.
just pick him up right now.
But do I drop Devin Funches for him?
Yes, fuck that guy. I'm just kidding. Gio Bernard. I know. I mean, this guy used to be good like 3 seasons ago. But the last couple games, well, this last game, I think, what do you get, like 5 or 6 points, which is not that great. But the prior to those two, it was about 12, 14 points each game, 2 in a row, in weeks 3 and 4. 5, I don't know what he was doing. But these next 4 matchups, playing against Pittsburgh, Indiana, Jacksonville, and Tennessee, Gio's playing them pretty favorable. 10 to 14th in the league against rushing. So if you're hurting Gio Bernard, I mean, it's for PPR. I mean, it's something
I like
to
that
look
call.
at.
I like
it's
that
something
call.
to look that way.
I like that call this week because they're playing Pittsburgh. They're probably going to be losing, and
So they're gonna need to.
they're going to need to throw the ball. And Gio's more of their receiving guy. So
I think so also because the cornerbacks for Pittsburgh are pretty damn good, so they're going to be tied up against.
yeah, Pittsburgh's like what 19th in the league against running backs receiving. So I would definitely that's a pretty good one for this week.
Yep. So and then like I said, Indiana, Jacksonville, and Tennessee right after that. So you might be able to keep them for the next few weeks. I don't know. Forte is looking a little bit healthier. He's owned 22% in Yahoo leagues right now.
Who are they playing this week?
Miami.
I hate the Dolphins.
Yeah, me too. So yeah, I mean that's another guy to look towards too.
Yeah.
Forte he used to be a big sexy name again 2 seasons ago.
Oh yeah, first round pick.
Yeah, easily. But then whenever I pick him, that's when he starts going downhill, which is exactly what happens.
Yeah, we just talked about that.
Yeah, we just talked about that on the top of the show.
It's the guiding counselor curse.
Yeah, that's what it is. I'm here for you guys. I'm here for you. I'm here to help you heal through your Matt's. What was your picks for? You pick up David Johnson or Odell Beckham, and then Amari Cooper, and then Greg Olsen. I'm here for you, man. I'm 1 and 5 in 2 leagues, when I should have been 5 and 1 in all 3 of my leagues. Mm-hmm. But shit happens. But I'm here for you guys. Matt, Dr. Mara, Professor, do you guys have any extra waivers or streamers that you want to throw at me before I go to defenses?
Oh, I think you hit it pretty spot on there.
Do we have any tight ends to look at?
I didn't do tight ends.
Let's see what
I'm not into tight ends, only loose ends.
It's kind of funny because I thought tight end was really really weak early on. I was kind of like trying to find anybody to play there. Mario talked me into sticking with Hunter Henry, and he's had a touchdown in like 3 straight weeks.
That's right.
So he's been pretty good.
I'm playing him this week.
Tell me.
In Yahoo, again, going with people under 50% owned, so that takes out Safarin Jenkins, which I don't know why he's still free agent in our league. But Colby Fleener's there, Jared Cook, kind of those same Doyle, those same guys are there. It's kind of like
Doyle looks good, but then he looks like super terrible.
the one that looks like a freak of nature is that
Njoku.
He's freaking crazy.
He's
looking.
awesome.
Yes,
but then he doesn't. They don't throw him the ball.
I know, but he seriously
Why don't they throw him the
looks
ball?
like the most talented player on the field.
Not just on Cleveland.
Yeah,
just the entire
whenever
league.
he's playing, and
he's badass. But they don't throw him the ball.
No, they don't.
And then Kevin Hogan or whatever his name is, the Hogan family, they're not throwing him the ball, which makes no sense. You would think you'd want to get your best player, which segues right into Julio Jones, you motherfuckers. Fucking upsetting. Anyway, so any more tight ends?
No, I mean, if you need one, there's decent guys to get.
You said Austin Hooper. How many is Austin?
No,
Hooper?
Hooper's not available in this one.
No.
But Colby Fleener against Green Bay, Jared Cook against Kansas City, which might not be the best, although they're way better against tight end whenever their safety is not out, obviously.
Right. Mario, you got kickers? You want to stream some kickers? Kickers.
Yeah, I mean,
No, I'm just kidding.
I don't surf the ownership levels, but how owned is like Ed Dixon? Is he highly
Oh,
owned?
he's pretty high end.
Yeah.
I'll go to all
Or
players.
Cameron Bray. I mean, Cameron Bray's probably high.
Yeah, he's high end as
What
well.
about Ben Watson?
Yeah,
He's lower.
For Baltimore, yeah, he's low.
Is he low? He gets a bunch of targets from
They're playing against Minnesota, aren't
Flacco. Yeah, he gets a bunch of targets. They're probably going to be behind because their team is terrible. But
Yeah,
then
and Alex Collins keeps fumbling the ball.
yeah, they're just so bad. So, but I mean, the good thing is they're gonna have to throw the ball a lot, and they don't really have any good receivers. So he gets
Actually-
a bunch of targets.
Austin Hooper is at 50% in all Yahoo leagues, but he's on a team in ours. And Dixon is 49% in Yahoo leagues, and he's on a team in ours.
Yeah,
But they're both up there.
if they're available, I mean, I would go with those guys. I mean, I can't even. Yeah, those would be my two guys. But it's only if they're available.
I just like Dixon.
I drafted.
I think Dixon's he's super talented.
I like what he said too. Whenever Olsen went down, he's like, "I may not have 89 on my jersey, but I'm just as good." I'm like, man, that's
Yeah.
fucking badass.
Yeah, he's
And, and that's why I think I like that Charles Hundley or whatever his name is. He's like, you know what, I'm
the quarterback. For the
the quarterback for the Packers. He's like, you know what, I know he's a great quarterback, but he's done his time basically. And
Yeah.
where's he from? UCLA or something like that.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
once upon a time, he was a prospect, a top prospect. Like he might have been a top 10 pick in the NFL draft, and then he stayed an extra year, and he had a really bad season, and so
Oh,
he
that
fell a lot.
sucks.
Yeah, so
Too bad this wasn't too bad Matt Flynn only got to play that one game that year. Like he didn't get to play 8 games when it would have been his breakout time.
that's the crazy thing is Matt Flynn. He played that one game, threw all those
And
yards,
then got beat out by Russ.
got beat up. I mean, he signed that big contract in Seattle and never played. He never played another down in the
Because
NFL.
Russell Wilson, they're like, we're going to go with the guy who we can pay $600,000 to.
But the crazy thing
It's his Super Bowl.
But the crazy thing is like he never got not even another job. Like, did
Because
he,
I think he went
did
back
he
to
not
Green
stand for the
Bay.
anthem?
Yeah,
or
did he
something?
kneel?
Like,
Was he kneeling?
yeah, I don't know. I don't know why he couldn't get a chance anymore.
But the weird part is he just accidentally tripped when I was starting. And it's really bad luck
Yeah,
for
he's
him.
just like, no,
Because
watch the
some
tapes.
of these quarterbacks that are still on rosters, I'm just like, how?
Yeah, good on Matt Flynn. I was so excited for him that year, and then they're like, this dude named Wilson's going to get the start. I'm like, what? Where's Matt Flynn at?
What, don't you have an obligation to to play this fucking $200 million guy, whatever the fuck he is? Anyway, defenses. New Orleans is owned 6% in Yahoo leagues,
And their defense is
and
legit.
they're good.
Pretty good, man. I told you. Last 2 weeks I've been telling you they're better than people think. I'm not saying that they're top 10 defense or anything, but they're better than
No, they
people been playing for.
they put up top 1 numbers and defense top 2 numbers.
I'm not talking about defense.
We're not gonna talk about
I'm
defense.
just y'all can keep talking. I'm taking a break from
You're taking a break.
defenses
Okay.
this week.
Can you give me a beer? So 6%. They're playing against Green Bay. Like we just talked about, Hundley
It's
was
something, right?
he was flopping around. It could have just been jitters. I don't know. But they are playing at home, which puts it okay for. I mean, Hundley might do better. I don't know.
Who's their tight end? Martellus?
Martellus Bennett.
He sucks.
Yeah,
so
he's
bad.
not doing.
I'm not
very
saying
well.
he's good.
Oh, but that
I'm just
might be
saying
where he goes.
Young
That's
quarterbacks
true.
tend to lean towards tight ends. So
I also feel like it's going to help. It's going to make their running backs get a lot more catches because he'll check down so much
You
quicker
did
than
the
Aaron Rodgers would.
Aaron Jones would.
Is going to get a few more catches.
Right.
Yeah, they just.
So what do you do about Jordy and
I mean, if you
Devontae?
If you look at projections from like some of these top websites, I mean, Jordy Nelson was still projected to be like the 5th highest scoring wide receiver this week.
Devontae Adams, he got a
And
touchdown.
and Devontae Adams was projected to be like the 12th highest scoring.
Yeah, so they're-
I don't get it, man. It's like
I think they'll be
they
fine.
must. But then Hundley was was projected to be like the 15th highest scoring quarterback.
they when did Rodgers get hurt? Pretty early or halftime or
Rodgers got hurt.
pretty
First
early,
quarter.
Right? First quarter. Okay, because Devontae Adams and Jordan Nelson both got right around 54% of the targets between the two of them, so 27% each. And I mean that's over half. So I mean if that continues,
Yeah,
They're going to be.
I wouldn't be worried about either one because if
The other-
Hundley makes mistakes, then they're going to be behind.
the other
for a long while.
46%
So what about
was
Randall
to
Cobb?
Minnesota.
Randall Cobb is the one who suffered the most, though. He went down. He went. Give me a second here. He went to
Yeah, he's already dropped in our league. Which is
8%. He only had 8% of targets last week,
Wow. Yeah.
and Martellus Bennett had 11. So it's like, I mean, but yeah. So I think Jordy and Devontae should get the targets. It's just a matter of if they can get open.
they're gonna be
what
good
they can do,
targets.
right? And I think the Saints have a good cornerback, right? Lattimore is pretty good. So I mean, I don't know. I don't know if he's going to shadow anybody.
I bet he doesn't.
Yeah, I
he
mean,
plays zone.
I bet he just stays on his side.
okay, then if that's the case, then I mean, I wouldn't be afraid to play either one.
Yeah.
Because if he shadows one of them, then I play the other. But if it's not going to be a shadow situation, then I would play either one.
My thing is with that, like, I understand, you take away, whenever you have that shutdown corner, you take away ODB if you can, you take away Julio Jones, you take away, AJ Green. But whenever it's like Jordy and Devontae Adams, who are both so
diverse
equal,
and so awesome.
like I don't really see the point of only taking one away and the other one going for 140 yards and 2 touchdowns.
And call that a win.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like Jordy Nelson didn't score. Like, what? Yeah. The team scored 80 points though. So
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Another one. I know I said Tennessee last week, which they did pretty well until like the last second. You know what? I'm going to take them off. I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
I'm going to do Cleveland. Cleveland is another streaming defense. They're owned in 1% of the leagues. They just, it's not that great, but what I think I take away as a win is that they scored 10 points against Houston.
even when Houston scored 38 points or something crazy.
And they still came away with 10 points. So, I mean, that to me is, that's kind of impressive.
Yeah, I mean, I can't go there personally, but because I think I like Tennessee, and Derrick Henry got more carries than DeMarco Murray finally, and he put up over 100 yards. I think if they're smart, they keep going that way, and I think he makes them a lot better.
I think at the best they keep it a 50-50 split, or DeMarco Murray goes back to getting more carries.
Really?
I just do, because he got 140 yards, but 79 of them were on the very last minute.
On the last 15 seconds of the game.
Touchdown.
Yeah.
I think that he was getting carries in that last drive because they weren't going to put DeMarco Murray back
they're
in.
not going to mess with them.
So he got 6 or 7 carries on that last.
That garbage time. We got to live that garbage time.
In that garbage time. But so I actually would play both. If I have either of those running backs, I'm playing them. I think
both of them?
Henry or DeMarco Murray. I think they're both good plays because.
Would you play them on your same lineup though?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
If I had to choose one or the other, I would just flip a coin. Honestly, I think both of them.
I would lean more to DeMarco.
I think both of them you can get 2 touchdowns and 100 yards. It's like, or each of them can get 60 yards and a touchdown. So it's just kind of.
And my last streaming defense is New York Jets. They're playing against Miami.
It's the flip side of that Cutler pickup. His Cutler's really bad, so he might throw 5 picks.
Very true. And this is the second time they've already met this season.
Yeah.
The first time that they met, Jets scored 15 points. Defense scored 15 points. Which is pretty decent for a defense that's not really top notch like
yeah, exactly.
Jacksonville, Minnesota. You know what I mean? Those kinds of defenses that you're not used to hearing about. So New York Jets. I mean, if you're looking for a low priced, I mean, I don't know how much they are. I haven't checked. I guess I should have checked the defense prices.
The Jets defense, 3,000.
3,000. That seems a little high. Wait, that's like the lowest it goes, right?
No, the lowest goes is 2.
And then that's when you start picking up like Dallas and stuff.
That's San Francisco versus Dallas, Chicago versus Carolina, Atlanta versus New England.
Okay. Well, that's the defenses on my stream.
Yeah.
You got any more defenses?
I'm good.
All right. Oh yeah, you don't like defenses. All right, man. Let's go to pick'em.
Let's
Do
go.
it. Do it.
Before we get started on this week's pick'em, let's talk about last week's pick'em. Or you want to just skip that too?
No, yeah.
Last week we did Mario had a total of. Do you want to do a drum roll or anything?
No thanks.
No.
I'm good.
You had a positive 3 points. You
Yes.
remember the way we do the
Yes.
scoring in this little segment here is where if you make the wrong selection, you get negative
You get
points.
negative, yeah.
Those points get negated. So
Was I positive last week? I was negative last week.
no, you were negative last week.
Yeah, that's right. Damn it.
Matt Mayfield came in with a staggering Jay Cutler type numbers with a -7. It's a
You cannot win them all.
He's the Terrence West of last week's pick'em. -7. I think the only game you got right was Houston. That was a +4 right there. Other than that, everything else was pretty shitty across the board. We'll just go out on a limb. We did say it was going to be a lopsided game for Denver versus the Giants. We did say that, right? We just didn't say which one. I mean,
It was the first week. I think the first week in NFL history where 2 13-point favorites both lost straight up. Like,
oh, really?
yeah, it was just a crazy week. So I mean, we picked. I know the Giants were at least 13-point favorites, but yeah, I mean, I still don't even know how I mean, the Broncos were 30.
I don't know what
I still don't
happened.
know how they won.
I don't know what
really
happened. I don't understand. But anyway, I got and then for me, I got negative 5 points. So
Damn it.
so I came out on top on this one because
They were in my like 3-week stretch of positives.
because I scored Tennessee for 1 point rather than -1, so we would have been tied.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we remember we did flip, so it was either win or lose.
Tennessee. I mean, Indianapolis was putting up a good fight, man. And
It's
then,
just they just got like sloppy, like
Yeah, it was
really
stupid.
sloppy towards the end.
well,
Like I don't
and
understand.
then
Like,
they
aren't you guys?
give up that touchdown.
Yeah,
and
that
then another
78
touchdown.
yard, like, that makes no sense to me. Like, why do you get so sloppy? Like, I mean, you guys are being too obvious if you're trying to get into the draft, like low in the draft. You know what I mean? So I don't think Andrew Luck's going to come back this year. Anyway, that's just me. All right, so this is how we do it. This is our weekly segment where it's the Pick'em. Pick'em is where we select 5 games. Usually we do a Thursday night game, Sunday night game, and a Monday night game, and then a Dallas and a Houston game. But this week and pretty much going forward, I think we're going to change up the lineup to where instead of doing a Thursday night football game, we're just going to ex-nay that game altogether, just because. I mean,
I think those games suck. I mean, a lot of
They
times
usually do.
they do. They don't have as much time to prepare. And I never before I really started paying attention. I was like, "What? Who makes what's the difference of 3 days?"
you just
But it's
know,
huge, man.
Yeah, and then you kind of pick based off of, ooh, what player do I hear more? You know what I mean? Like,
So-
this one I hear about Derek Carr more, but that's just because he's injured. You know what I mean? So it's
Like KC at Oakland should be that's the Thursday night game this week.
Correct.
We were
Should be
gonna,
a Monday night game.
it really
it
should,
should
right?
be.
It should be. That
They
should
should
be a
put that
really good
shitty
game. I feel like
Washington Philly game on the other. They should flip it. Yeah.
it's like I almost feel like KC is going to go on the road. It's going to be a short week. They're not going to have time to prepare. They're not going to go through their usual thing. Oakland's going to be at home. They're
so you
going
think they're
to
going to sneak away with this
yeah,
win?
exactly something like that. You know, something stupid like that keeps happening every week.
Yeah. Okay.
So
So
no, not worried about that
instead
game.
of that, so we're going to go 5 games of two games for sure, Sunday night and Monday night.
Do that one last.
And Dallas and a Houston game. And the way we do our scoring, like I just said before, is where we pick a game, we get a choice of 5 points, and in between those 5 points, we only get to choose it one time. So if I pick Dallas Cowboys and give them 5 confidence points that they'll win, I can't use that 5 points again for a Patriots game versus Jets or anything like that. I would have to choose a 4, 3, 2, 1. Anyway, so and then if you pick the correct game, you get those positive points. If you pick the incorrect game, those points get negated, like deducted from your score. So you could turn out like Matt Mayfield here, Professor Mayfield, and get -7
I
points.
just they didn't get -15.
Yeah, and
That
that's
would've been really
that's
bad.
what we're looking at. Like that's a win. You know,
All right.
at least we get one win.
all the
do it.
-15s like the all or nothing. I could have
Yeah,
Could have gone all out. Yeah.
all or nothing.
you could have done that. So the game we're going first is which we did more than that. So I'll go first. Dallas at San Francisco. Dallas coming off their bye week, playing against
With Zeke.
officially now, and playing a rookie quarterback who's going to get his first start, playing at San Francisco. I'm going to go ahead with 5 points on Dallas, please.
Nice.
I'm that confident. I'm hoping that Zeke, like, he's going to do what he's supposed to do and run all over people. You know, I mean, because he's not like been a big time producer, not like the first 2 games, but the previous 3 he started stepping up, starting to look like his old self again. So I'm hoping he can continue that trend. If not, double it. That'd be great. What do you do, Matt?
I am going to also go to Dallas. I'm a big guy for leaning towards teams coming off of a bye. Getting Zeke, of course, is not going to do nothing but help them. I'm actually going to put 4 points.
4 points? Okay.
Nice. I'm also going Dallas for all the reasons you guys said, but
Clean sweep. You gonna do 1 point?
yeah, I'm doing 1 point.
Are you really?
Yeah, I'm doing 1 point.
Oh shit!
Mainly because I don't know. San Francisco's not terrible. They're at home.
And they haven't won a game yet, right? This would be like
Yeah, I mean, it's just I don't know. It feels fishy for me because Jason Garrett, he's not like the best head coach. So coming off a bye, I mean, usually off like
No,
Andy
that's
Reid
true,
off a
yeah.
bye is like unbeatable.
oh that
But Jason Garrett, I don't know what his record is, but he just doesn't seem like the sharpest tool in the shed. So
He doesn't seem like he
I'll
gets
go with
mad.
Dallas because I think they're the better team, but only 1 point, just because I wouldn't be shocked by a San Francisco upset.
Like, he just doesn't seem like he gets mad, and people call him Jason. That pisses me off. Like, if anybody, one of my team members or players called me Alex, I'd be like, it's Coach. Like, fuck you. Like, I earned this right, or I paid to be in this league. You know what I mean? Like, you fucking call me
Yeah.
Coach, and it just seems like a little bit disrespectful. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
no,
if I mean, you're gonna call
Belichick is like, hey,
yeah,
Bill.
yeah, you're gonna call him Bill. Fuck that, dude. You'll be off the team. That's not how
Right.
you don't call, and then you call him Coach Pop. You know what I mean? You call him Coach Pop.
Hey, Gregory.
Yeah. Hey, yo, G. Like, no, that's not gonna work, man. So, I think he needs to
I'll
get
give him
more.
1 point. I mean,
I think he needs
kind
to
of
get more
fishy.
time.
Plus, I want to try and win, so let's figure deal. Will
Oh,
be
shit.
different.
Oh, okay. All right.
5 for San Francisco.
I guess that would have been the ultimate. Yeah, that would have been the way to do it, but I'm not that confident.
Professor, it's to you.
All right, next game we're going to do is Cincinnati at Pittsburgh. This is kind of a pick that I'm like really banking on this for my season long leagues as well. I have Roethlisberger. I have a lot of Antonio Brown. I think in 2 of my 3, not in all 3. And I just don't think Cincinnati's very good. I think they kind of suck as a team. They are coming off a bye though,
Yeah.
which kind of
Kind of contradicts your previous
It
statement.
really does, but I feel like Pittsburgh's turned it around. They're starting to play like they're supposed to.
And playing at home.
Playing at home. Ben Roethlisberger's, well, historically been better at home. This year, he's had a couple duds, but he's had duds across the board. So I'm actually going to, because I thought
Switch
this
mine.
would be different.
Switch mine.
No. I think this was going to be a little bit different. As I'm actually going to go with Pittsburgh and give them 5 points.
Whoa. Holy shit, man. It's impressive. You got some. There's
Going
some
for that negative 15, buddy.
There's some balls on you.
Negative 15.
I hope not. I hope you don't get negative 15. Because that would mean the Cowboys will lose.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Mr. Doctor?
I'm going Pittsburgh because they're at home. I like Le'Veon Bell. I mean, they're just good. I think they'll be fine. 4 points, Pittsburgh.
I, too, am going to go with Pittsburgh. And like I mentioned before, the last 3 games that Pittsburgh and Cincinnati have gone head-to-head, Pittsburgh has taken all 3 of those games by 4 points, 8 points, and like 6 points. So, I mean, they're all very close games, only 1 possession game. It's going to come down to the wire. But, I mean, you have fucking Le'Veon Bell. You got
Antonio
Brown.
Yeah.
You got this new guy, Juju, which I feel weird saying because I feel like a little racist saying it. Right, Juju Schuster.
No, it's like Juju on that beat, man.
Yeah.
You do the dance.
I mean, he looks pretty good. You got Jesse James, the gunslinger.
Mm-hmm.
Ben, hopefully he tears it up again. I'm trying to get this win as well, but I'm going to give him 3 points.
Nice. Got a little bit of difference in our picks so far.
Yes, sir. Finally,
So we're doing Sunday Night Football next.
Sunday Night Football next.
We can go.
Or do you want to go back to
Yeah,
the?
let's
Okay,
Go back to that's what I was.
Go to the top. Yeah.
To the top one. All right. So the next matchup is the Saints at the Packers. Drew Brees versus Hundley.
Hundley.
And
Not Aaron Rodgers.
Not kind of the matchup they were
So
hoping
okay,
for
so
when they
if there
scheduled
was
that
Aaron
more.
Rodgers, it'd be obviously.
Oh, it's the
different.
same for me. The way I'm going Green Bay.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, Green
Okay.
Bay, 3 points for me.
Wow.
Yeah, the Saints. I don't know. I don't think they travel well. I think Hundley is actually going to be kind of impressive. So give me the Packers 3 points.
Okay.
So this is one where I'm doing the
You're doing the commentary.
newbie type thing where you look and you're like, oh man, it's Drew Brees and their offense is awesome and they've been playing good and there's no Aaron Rodgers. That's like what everybody. I think that's exactly what Vegas wants people to do, and that's what everybody's going to do.
But they're still not the favorite.
It's
Green Bay's the favorite.
Green Bay is the favorite, and it's just.
No, New Orleans is the favorite.
But was it a 3-point spread?
It's a 5.5. Oh shit, 5.5 now. It was 3.5. Now it's 5.
So it's gone to 5.5.
Yeah.
This is seriously the game where we're gonna hopefully record something else later this week and possibly update these picks. This is one of those games where I could switch this pick based on the line movement. If it starts moving towards Green Bay later in the week, when people that actually know what they're doing start making bets, not what people just do because
Because like
they
you
have
said,
money.
Exactly what you just said is everybody sees it. Drew Brees. That's why that line, because they have 64% of the bets, which means the public is on them huge. And so if that line moves back towards that 3.5 without a major swing, then you know that
The big money or the
big
smart money.
Smart money is going to be on Green
The
Bay.
smart money is to go Green Bay.
Go Green. But
But
I'm
you won't know
gonna.
that till later in the
I'm doing the newbie thing right now and going New Orleans, but I'm only giving them 1 point.
I don't have all that information that you just. I can't provide something like that. 'Cause I'm not that tenured in that looking at lines and spreads and all that good stuff. I'm gonna go just based off of pure quarterback, running backs versus running backs, wide receivers versus just the old
yeah.
school coaching versus coaching, like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I feel that it leans more onto the Saints side. They look like they're hitting a stride. They're going to try to ride this high. Their defense is looking good, so they're pretty confident going in. If they can take on Matt Stafford, who's a baller. If they can take him on, they can take on anybody basically, except Aaron Rodgers, which they don't have to anymore. So it's good for them. So I'm going to go New Orleans 4 points.
I also think that them getting rid of AP, it was kind of a locker room type, like
It's like a
addition
split.
by subtraction. I think he was kind of causing a rift in the locker room, and so I think now it's back to probably how
Just
it
old school
was,
football.
and where Drew Brees is the man, and Mark Ingram's the running back,
Yeah, because if you
Lamar knows
talk
his
to one,
spot.
if you talk to AP, you're like,
Exactly.
whoa.
Yeah, and so
I thought Allen was
I
your
think
boy
that
over
definitely
here.
helps them as well. But it's just fishy to me that Green Bay isn't without Aaron Rodgers. They should be an 8-point, 9-point dog to me
for sure.
Yeah. So
Weird. Okay, so now we're going to a Sunday night football game. This is a rematch of last year's Super Bowl. Atlanta at New England.
that's you, Alex. You're up.
Yeah, this game, Atlanta looked like they just gave it up again last week.
To Miami.
17 points to Miami. To Jay Cutler. They're playing at Atlanta. You know what I mean? Like, how do you do that?
No, yeah. I get
And weren't
you.
they coming off they were just coming off a fucking bye.
Yeah.
Atlanta was. How that's concerning. And then you're not going to your big time fucking star, Julio Jones?
One red zone target for the whole season.
Like,
No
who
touchdowns.
does that?
No
and they just
touchdowns.
whistled. Whenever I said who.
That was
Cooper
cool,
Kupp
man.
has more touchdowns than Julio Jones.
It's staggering. I don't like that. I don't even want to pick anything having to do with Atlanta Falcons other than maybe Freeman. That would probably be the only guy that I can feel confident.
Hooper.
Or Hoopa, because Patriots aren't very good against
Anything.
tight ends. Yeah,
Anything
against
defense.
anything really. But yeah, I'm going to go New England on this one. But I'm just going to go 2 points just because I kind of just ran out of points. Or maybe you know what? Maybe I could switch. No,
We could, and this is one you can always come back to if you.
maybe I can do. I'm going to do 4 after I just talked myself out of it. I'm going to switch my points. I'm going to go New Orleans 2 points and New England 4 points.
All right, go ahead, Mario.
I'm going to go.
I still kept the same.
This is one that I might switch because I'm not sure what I want to do. But as of right now, I'm going to go New Orleans and I'm going to go 5 points.
New England.
New England.
I mean, New England, yeah, sorry. They're at home. Both these teams are kind of struggling. But I don't know. I mean, I'm tempted to switch it to Atlanta just because they can't play that bad again. They just lost the Super Bowl to these dudes. Devontae Freeman should go off catching the ball.
I'm playing him DraftKings.
I mean, I don't know. There's a lot telling me to go Atlanta, but then it's like Bill Belichick at home, and Tom Brady at home. So, and Gronk. I don't know. I'm going New England 5.
So yeah, I really want to go with Atlanta as well. Same reasons Mario said. I also feel like if they're going to have a breakout game with Julio Jones and throwing the ball a lot, it's going to be against New England, whose secondary has been shoddy.
That would be fun. I'm rooting for Atlanta.
This is still the thing though, because there's no Warriors in the NFL, right? There's no this is a game where it's like I'm going with Greg Popovich at home.
Yeah.
I'm going with
Yeah, see, that's the
I'm
thing.
going
We're-
with Bill Belichick at home with Tom Brady and that team like in Foxborough. So I'm actually going with New England, but I have 3 points for New England.
All right.
And then our last game is Monday Night Football. Washington Redskins at the Philadelphia Eagles. Nice division rivalry. That should be a really fun game, I think.
I think that's going to be a great game.
I feel like I keep trying to tell myself why Philadelphia sucks. Like I keep trying to find a reason why they're not any good.
Every once in a while, Carson Wentz makes like a
stupid mistake.
silly stuff. But
he's also the reason that they're any good.
yeah,
Exactly.
and he makes up for it.
Yeah.
But they're at home. It's a division game. I always, I just feel like teams really pay attention and want these division wins. And I don't trust Kirk Cousins. So I'm actually going to go with Philadelphia at home and give them 2 points.
2 points. All right. I'm going to go Philly, but only 1 point. Just because, these division games, they always come down. It doesn't matter if you're 0-5 or 0-6 going into a matchup against especially in the NFC East. It can be anybody's game.
Yeah, I feel like that division, and then the AFC. What is it? South with
Houston.
No, with KC and Oakland.
Oh,
and,
AFC West.
AFC West. There you go. I feel like that division too. It's like all those games are always.
Yeah, you don't know who's going to win.
Yeah.
So, and it's going to be a close game no matter what. So that's why I'm only giving Philly 1 point. Just because, I'm going with a hot hander now. Kirk Cousins is looking pretty fucking stout, man. And then he just had a baby, and maybe he's trying to
He's probably
show
gonna,
off for him.
probably going to run a lot faster now.
I think he named his
Get rid
baby,
of that baby.
Carson. No, I'm just kidding. I don't think he did. But anyway,
That'd be a pretty good move because then you can be like, hey, Carson, I'm your dad.
Yeah. Maybe we'll
The
just
ultimate,
say,
yeah.
I think he's going to switch the baby's name each week.
There you go.
I think we just say we did. But then, what else was I going to say? Oh, and he's already played on Monday Night Football as well, Kirk Cousins, and against, who was it, Casey? Right? Was it Casey? Or
I don't remember.
No.
I don't remember.
Anyway, maybe I think it was.
I don't remember
But-
yesterday. So
That's true, but he did have a pretty good showing on Monday Night Football. So I'm confident in him, but that's why I'm going to go for
1 point.
but for Philly. So what would Washington's?
hey,
doing?
does 1 pointer change the win between me and you being second
True.
place
That's true. We could have been tied for last.
Yep.
or second?
All right, that's true.
I'm going with tied for the silver, not tied for last.
That's
I'm going Philly, 2 points. Zach Ertz, good game this week.
I hope so.
Yeah, I think so. So
Is he going to top two catches?
It doesn't matter if it's
Is he-
2 touchdowns.
More catches, but less touchdowns?
more
Probably.
touchdowns, less catches. He's gonna run one in.
Oh,
3 touchdowns.
or maybe he throws
on
one.
catch.
Maybe he throws one in.
Yeah, like freaking Tariq Cohen did last week.
Yeah. See, how did he even see it over anybody?
I don't know.
I'm taller than that guy.
I'm pretty sure he just threw it.
I think he did.
I used to love the halfback toss pass play on Madden back in the day.
I swear, toss plays, I never liked toss plays. It was like the defenders always just ran in there.
Madden,
But I still don't understand
96.
Oh, old school Madden.
I still don't understand how
Spin move, baby.
it's not forward pass. I guess because it's
You know what made the Madden games get really good? Was whenever
when you get to press Y by yourself and do a manual or user catch or user pick.
That was good. But I liked it when they actually started making screen passes work. Like wide receiver screens, and if you ran them at the right time and
waited
your
enough.
blocker set up,
Yeah.
it actually started working. Because for the longest time you'd run that and you're getting tackled in the backfield. Like,
Oh god,
it was so stupid.
Was the play actions used to be the worst?
Oh, you just get
Have you?
Oh yeah, you get sacked
Oh, yeah.
easily.
You're
Or
on play
the
action
end arounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
None of it
yeah.
worked. None of those worked. But
The sneaky best play was the halfback counter play.
ooh, yeah.
Yeah, that play worked almost every time.
No, but in like Madden, whatever it was 12 that we really got into, it was like the halfback slant. That slant run was just, it was money.
I like any slant route. If you want to play me, at least like in second down, I'm slant all day.
I really like.
I could be second and 1.
My
I'll be
favorite
slant.
route to watch. My 2 favorite routes to watch are. This could have been our garbage time because we could really go on about this, but I have
could be.
a.
Or you have-
I just have a little spit. This is part of our garbage time is talking about
Oh man,
video games, And then I have something else to ask y'all, a little bet to make. We're going to each get part of this bet. And the loser is going to have to
Eat a dick.
eat a dick.
All right.
Nice. We go hardcore in this. I love wide receiver. I mean, I love running back routes. I love the one where I don't know what it's called, but it looks like they're going to run out and then they cut right back behind across where the linebackers are.
It makes like a little triangle.
Yeah, exactly.
I know,
What's that?
Yeah,
route
and
called?
then it's RB.
Yeah, it's like an option, I guess.
You know what I'm talking about, though?
Yeah.
It's like they make that little, up to the right and then back up to the left.
They're going to go to they're going to
And
go
then
flat.
the best route by far is a wheel route where a running back gets caught with the linebacker. I mean, it's just so you can that's where you really see the difference in speed. From a linebacker.
Man,
and
you know who
running
was
back.
the best was LaDainian Tomlinson back in the
Oh
day.
God!
You can't catch that guy.
Oh my god, I would play him online, Madden online, wheel route all day.
Wheel route was the other thing that's cheating about wheel routes in Madden is most of the time the view doesn't get the full corners.
Right, you can't see
So
it.
if you're playing the defender like as a safety,
Well, back
which
in
is
the day.
I usually would, you wouldn't see the running back going up the side until the last second. And you're like, well, I'm fucked. That's a
And all
touchdown.
you hear is like licking his chops. He's all.
Yeah.
the little 8-year-old kid.
And Reggie
Yeah,
Bush.
motherfucker.
Reggie
Yeah.
Bush was dangerous in Madden.
Why don't you eat a
I just
dick,
put him in
sir?
They very polite after
Yeah, he's very nice
after
about it.
All right, so my little bet, so we can finish up. My little bet was, I was looking at odds. I mean, I know we're 6 weeks finished, 6 weeks, over a third of the season. I feel like this time you usually have a pretty clear favorite of who's going to win, right? Like at least a handful. So I went online on Vegas Insider and looked at the odds, and so. If you have, there's actually 4 different options. These are your 4 options that you could take. That I made up these options. It's not like these are actual bets.
Okay.
You can have New England, option 1. You can have Kansas City or Philly, who are both 8-1 odds right now. Option 2. New England's 4-1, by the way. You can have Kansas City and Philly. They're both 8-1. You can have Pittsburgh, Seattle, and Atlanta, who are 10-1, 10-1, or 14-1, or the field. So there's 6 teams gone,
Right.
or the field, and those are the 4
The
options.
field means like I could pick.
Anybody, every other team, you get every other
Get
team.
every other team, yeah.
So it's one of those 6 teams.
What are the teams that are already out? The Pats?
No, Pats are not part of that. Oh, Patriots. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was thinking
They're in the
Pats.
first one. Yeah.
Pats by themselves, 4-1. Kansas City and Philly they're each 8-1, and then Pittsburgh, Seattle, and Atlanta. So I also liked it. So after that, those were the top 6. After that, it went to 20-1 was the next best
I
odds.
like that KC and Philly.
Right, the 2 8-1s. This is what I did at work today. You're like, did you work today? I'm like, this was my work. I made up this little. So yeah, those are your 4 options.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm kind of hoping. I'm just gonna say it. I'm kind of hoping Dallas. I mean, that's it. It's a long shot, man. But I'm a fan. But I got to think about money. So if I had to put my odds on any team or anybody, you have to go Patriots. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You kind of have to. But this KC and Philly is just too. It looks juicy, man. I don't know. I think I'm gonna go Pittsburgh, Seattle, and Atlanta.
3s. Mario's, which one would you do?
And I like Pittsburgh.
Right?
I'm going to take...
I look at these teams and I'm like, the only one I look at and I'm like, they can win it all is the Patriots. Like I look at these other teams and I'm like, can Kansas City really win it all? Can Philly really win it all? Like, I guess so.
I would really like for KC and Philly to go against each other.
That'd be a
just
fun
because,
Super Bowl. 2 teams that
Andy
never
Reid
won the one Super Bowl.
and then Andy Reid against his
Andy
own
Reid
team.
against-
That would be cool.
And then there's, didn't he? Wasn't he?
I'm gonna take the field. I think Minnesota has a good chance.
And see, I thought Minnesota was. I think they were one of the 20-1. Actually, let me tell you, that's 20
I
to
like
1
Minnesota.
teams.
Yeah, I like them.
Especially
And then
if
you forgot
Bridgewater
about
gets healthy.
and then you forgot about the Rodgers. I mean, not Rodgers.
The Packers.
LAR. You
Yeah.
forgot LARs.
They bring so the 20-1 teams were
In Carolina.
So Carolina, Minnesota, Denver. So I was going to make another one with like 5 teams in it, but then I'm like, well, then no one's going to take the field. So I was like, this is the only way. Carolina, Minnesota, Denver, Green Bay, New Orleans, Dallas, and then everybody else.
I like that.
Detroit.
I like that field.
The field. I mean, you definitely have a lot of options, and that's just the thing. I actually would take the field as well, only
No,
because
but I would take that little. They're 20-1s. Those guys.
yeah.
You mentioned.
Oh, if I did that 5th group of them,
Yeah.
I would take. Oh yeah, I think I would do that 5th group. I just feel like I can see a team like the Packers surviving to the playoff times and then getting Aaron Rodgers back,
And then hoping Pittsburgh knocks off New England,
and then they put
or
something
like that, right?
It just blew my mind.
Maybe
when
even the Texans.
exactly,
Yeah, exactly.
All those
That
teams
too.
in the field. So I would actually take the field as well. Or
What about Jaguars?
New
Or
England.
Jaguars or
No, they suck.
Jaguars have Blake Bortles.
That's true, right? You just got to remember that.
Yeah.
You're like, oh man,
That's why I look at them like
Their defense isn't. I mean, their defense is good, but it's not
as good
like
as it's made out
Baltimore
to be.
Ravens Super Bowl.
is
winning
Carson
defense.
Wentz going to win a Super Bowl in his second year?
Okay, dude,
He might.
That'd be
You know,
awesome.
that's just
pretty good.
He is. I know, but it's like, are you going to say that? Is Alex Smith going to win a Super Bowl?
Alex Smith will never win a Super Bowl.
Exactly. Right.
Actually, I think he'll get him all the way to the Super Bowl, and then they'll be like, "Yeah, we're gonna start Mahomes."
Dude, that would be fucking hilarious.
No, you know, the only team I wouldn't want Kaepernick to go to is the
Packers.
Chiefs, because I just wouldn't have to do that to Alex Smith again.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be hilarious.
He does all this
man.
work and like
He's like,
oh
I
yeah,
thought
we're bringing
I
him
fucking
in.
got away
We
from
took
you.
care of all the sittings and dealing stuff. We're bringing him back.
Yeah, we're bringing in the real quarterback. All right, man. Well, school classes ended. Hope you guys had fun. Maybe we'll see you back here for extra time.
A little update.
Yeah, or later on.
All right, Thursday thing.
Thursday or for I mean I'll upload it.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a short one. You know, we're thinking like 20, 30 minutes at the most.
Okay.
Just an update. But all right, see you guys soon.
All right, cool.